Africa's urban population is the fastest growing globally. In less than 20 years from now, every second person in Africa is likely to live in a town or a city. This will total about 926 million people, or 438 million more than today, the equivalent of adding the current combined populations of Nigeria, Ethiopia, Egypt, and Tanzania. According to UN estimates, by 2030, the African continent will contain 18 cities with populations of more than 5 million people, up from 8 in 2018. By 2030, 6 of the world's 41 megacities will be in Africa. The existing trio of Cairo, Lagos, and Kinshasa will be joined by Johannesburg, Luanda, and Dar es Salaam. In contemporary times, Africa's urbanization has a lot of potential if it's executed appropriately due to apparent capacity of cities to be a major facilitator of economic growth, particularly as the fast-growing cities in Africa aren't solely the result of a massive population. They fuse an active industrial revolution, a rapidly growing population, and an accelerated economic development, which has resulted in a remarkable improvement in continental living standards over the last 200 years. Africa is an emerging continent with enormous economic potential, triggering analysts to predict a nominal GDP of $2.9 trillion. A remarkable economic surge is expected as a gross domestic product of $29 trillion is projected by the year 2050. According to Brahima Coulibaly, director of Brookings Institution Africa Growth Initiative, about half of the world's fastest-growing economies will be located on the continent, with 20 economies rising at an average rate of 5% or higher over the next 5 years, faster than the global economy's 3.6% rate. The continental population is expected to reach around 2 billion people by 2050, as more economic activities are being carried out to counterbalance the growing population. Join us in our video today, which highlight the 25 largest and fastest growing cities in Africa. Before we go any further, remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel if you are new here. So without further ado, here are the 25 largest and fastest growing cities in Africa. Conakry, Guinea's capital and largest city, with a population of about 2 million people, accounts for about 1/6 of the country's overall population. It is located on the Atlantic Ocean and serves as the cultural and economic center of Guinea. In 1950, the population of Conakry was 31,339. The city has grown by 52,862 since 2015, which represents a 2.73% annual change. According to the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects, these estimates represent the urban agglomeration of Conakry, which typically includes Conakry's population in addition to adjacent suburban areas. The city is projected to have a population of about 3.2 million people by 2035. Somalia is the world's 44th largest country, with a population of over 10 million people. Of this figure, over 2.5 million residents, who sum up about a quarter of the country's total population, inhabit in Mogadishu. It is the country's largest city and with a major port in the Indian Ocean. Due to the port's logistics advantages, the city is famous for its import and export, manufacturing and distribution activities. In 1950, the population of Mogadishu was 54,661. Mogadishu has grown by 105,911 since 2015, which represents a 4.64% annual change. According to the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects, these estimates represent the urban agglomeration of Mogadishu, which typically includes Mogadishu's population in addition to adjacent suburban areas. The city has been estimated to have 4.5 million people by 2035. Bamako, Mali's political and economic capital, is one of the world's fastest growing cities. With a population estimate of about 2.7 million people, it is the biggest city in the nation. Bamako had an estimated population of 88,625 people in 1950, but since 2015, the population of Bamako has increased by 95,544 people, a 3.65% yearly increase. 70% of the nation's industrial activity is concentrated in Bamako district. The service sector encompasses the most developed sector of the nation, boosting craft activities and commerce industries successfully. The city has factories for textiles, meat and metal products, and mining activities. The city is projected to have a population of about 4.8 million people by 2035. Zambia has a population of 18.6 million people, making it the world's 65th most populous country. Lusaka, its capital, is also the nation's most populated city, boasting an urban population projected to be 2.9 million and a metro area population of 3.3 million. Lusaka is Zambia's government and commercial hub, linking the country's 4 major motorways to the north, south, east, and west. The city is predominantly dependent on its agricultural surroundings, offering a primary gathering point for corn and tobacco produce. Lusaka, however, has attained a varied economy that includes cement and textile manufacturing, as well as fabrication and food processing. In 1950, the population of Lusaka was 31,169. Lusaka has grown by 131,860 since 2015, which represents a 4.75% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from a latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. It is estimated that the city will have a population of 5.2 million people by 2035. The population of Durban in 2021 was projected to be 3.1 million, witnessing a significant increase of 0.57%. That is 17,941 per year since 2015. Growing from a population of 483,990 people back in 1950, the city has bloomed since. Durban is a city in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. It is the most populous city in the province, features one of the country's most densely populated urban districts. The city has a population density of 6,800 persons per square mile and covers an area of approximately 87 square miles. In terms of race, almost 51% of the population is Black African, with about a quarter being Indian or Asian, whilst 15.3% are white. The city is projected to have a population of about 3.8 million people by 2035. Kumasi has a humid, damp environment, having industrialized out of a lush forest belt among hills reaching to 300 meters. The town's name originates from Osei Tutu, a 17th century Asante ruler who chose the location for his capital and held land negotiations under a kum tree. Kumasi is expanding rapidly in current times and growing prominently in its economic and commercial activities due to its location on north-south trade routes. Being the second largest city in Ghana, Kumasi's 2021 population was estimated at 3.4 million. In 1950, the population of Kumasi was 99,479. Kumasi has grown by 141,968 since 2015, which represents a 4.24% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. It is estimated that the city will have 5.3 million populations by 2035. Kampala is the capital of Uganda. The population of Uganda is growing rapidly at a rate of 4% per year and ranks among the best in the Life Index. With a population estimate of more than 3.4 million people, the vibrant city of Kampala is now one of the world's fastest growing cities, and was named the greatest city in East Africa to reside, back in 2016 by the Mercer official website. It is located in the southern region of the country, approximately north of Lake Victoria, on a range of hills at an elevation of around 1,190 meters. In 1950, the population of Kampala was 95,368. Kampala has grown by 171,146 since 2015, which represents a 5.19% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from a latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city will have an estimated population of 7 million people by 2035. Douala is Cameroon's capital and main port. It is located on the Atlantic Ocean coast, about 210 kilometers west of Yaoundé, on the southeastern shore of the Wari River estuary. The ports of Douala serve neighboring countries: Gabon, Congo, Chad, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, and Cameroon. Douala's 2021 population was estimated at 3,793,363. In 1950, the population of Douala was 94,769. Douala has grown by 130,136 since 2015, which represents a 3.55% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city is projected to have a population of 6 million people by 2035. Casablanca is the largest city in Morocco, located on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. The port of Casablanca is located near the city and is one of the largest artificial ports in the world. It is also the second largest in North Africa behind Tanger Med, 40 kilometers east of Tangier. The city of Casablanca covers an area of 220 square kilometers. The metro population is estimated to be over 6 million residents. Casablanca's 2021 population was estimated at 3,793,585. In 1950, the population of Casablanca was 625,435. Casablanca has grown by 41,228 since 2015, which represents a 1.1% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city is projected to have a population of about 4.7 million people by 2035. Algiers is Algeria's capital and main seaport, as well as the country's political, economic, and cultural hub. Algiers has an estimated population of 3.7 million and a larger metropolitan population of 5.4 million. Algiers is very densely populated, with about 10,150 people per square kilometer. After Cairo and Casablanca, Algiers represents the third largest city in Africa, where its name comes from the Arabic term Al-Jazer, which means the islands, and is derived from French and Catalan Alger. In 1950, the population of Algiers was 516,450. Algiers has grown by 41,497 since 2015, which represents a 1.5% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. It is estimated that the city will have a population of about 5 million people by 2035. Kano, in the northwest of Nigeria, has a population that is now estimated at 4.1 million people. In 1950, the population of Kano was 123,073. Kano has grown by 103,965 since 2015, which represents a 2.6% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city is growing rapidly and offers many investment and business opportunities, especially in the field of construction. Kano is a prominent industrial and commercial hub whose staple crop is peanut, whilst hides and skins come second as the most important traditional export. The city is estimated to have a population of about 6.6 million people by 2035. Accra is capital of Ghana and the most populous city in the nation. The city is domed to a host of headquarters and branches of massive conglomerates, such as MTN, ShopRite, Woolworth, amid others, along with various ministries, banks, companies, and non-governmental organizations. Accra's 2021 population is now estimated at 4.2 million. In 1950, the population of Accra was 177,147. Accra has grown by 42,967 since 2015, which represents a 1.71% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. Accra is the economic and administrative center of the Greater Accra region and the backbone of the Greater Accra metropolitan area, with a little of over 4 million people living in this area. The Greater Accra metropolitan area is the 13th largest metropolitan area in Africa. Accra is projected to have a population of about 6.5 million people by 2035. Cape Town is the legislative capital of South Africa. The city's economy reflects tourist activities such as attractions including the Cape Flora, Table Mountain, and Cape Point. Cape Town's 2021 population is now estimated at 4,709,990. In 1950, the population of Cape Town was 618,051. Cape Town has grown by 92,430 since 2015, which represents a 2% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. Cape Town is the second most populous city in South Africa behind Johannesburg, and it is the provincial capital of the Western Cape. Located on the shore of Table Bay, Cape Town is famous around the world for its beautiful harbor and is considered one of the best places in the world to visit. The city is projected to have a population of about 5.8 million people by 2035. Nairobi is not only the country's capital, but also the country's most populous metropolis. The official population count was in 2009, and the city proper had a population of 3,138,369 people. Since then, the number has risen to an estimated 4.9 million people. The metro area has over 6.5 million residents. In 1950, the population of Nairobi was 137,456. Nairobi has grown by 187,311 since 2015, which represents a 3.96% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. Many international companies and organizations are based in Kenya. The United Nations Environment Program and the United Nations Office are both located in the city. Nairobi is projected to have an estimated population of about 8.5 million people by 2035. Ethiopia's capital city Addis Ababa is also the country's most populous city, having a total estimated population of 5 million people according to UN World Urbanization Prospects' recent projection. In 1950, the population of Addis Ababa was 392,000. Addis Ababa has grown by 211,825 since 2015, which represents a 4.42% annual change. This capital city holds 527 square kilometers of area in Ethiopia. The population density is estimated to be near 5,165 individuals per square kilometer available. Per the population recorded at the last census in 2007, the city of Addis Ababa has a higher population of female residents than male residents. Almost 1/4 of all people in Ethiopia that live in urban areas live in the capital city. The headquarters of the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa are both found in Addis Ababa. The city is expected to have an estimated population of 8.9 million people by 2035. Alexandria is the capital of Egypt, as well as the country's second largest city by population and one of the country's most important economic centers. Alexandria's 2021 population was estimated at 5.3 million. In 1950, the population of Alexandria was 1 million. Alexandria has grown by 100,437 since 2015, which represents a 1.9% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city is a coastal city on the Mediterranean Sea, which delights and profits from tourism. It is an important tourist destination which has a well-structured and developed industry, particularly due to the Suez oil and gas pipeline. It is estimated that the city will have an estimated population of about 7.2 million people by 2035. French-speaking city Abidjan is the business capital of Ivory Coast, located on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Abidjan's 2021 population was estimated at 5.3 million people. In 1950, the population of Abidjan was 65,000. Abidjan has grown by 152,064 since 2015, which represents a 2.92% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city has enjoyed an accelerated developing rate with a population expected to exceed 6 million in the next 10 years. The city has officially been designated as the economic capital of the country, mainly because of its size as the largest city in the country and the hub of all economic activities. The Abidjan Autonomous District, which encompasses the city and some of its suburbs, is one of the 14 districts of Ivory Coast. It is estimated that Abidjan will have about 8.4 million people by 2035. Khartoum is the capital of Sudan and a city with the largest metropolitan area in the nation. It is located close to the junction where the White Nile, which flows north from Lake Victoria, and the Blue Nile, which flows west from Lake Tana merge in Ethiopia. This city is the birthplace of Sudan's banking, commercial, and manufacturing activities. Khartoum's 2021 population is now estimated at 5.9 million people. In 1950, the population of Khartoum was 182,686. Khartoum has grown by 160,166 since 2015, which represents a 2.75% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The city is projected to have a population of 9.6 million people by 2035. Johannesburg is the largest city in South Africa and represents the financial dome of the country. The city hosts a list of multinational facilities, from banks and other industrial edifices. Johannesburg's 2021 population was estimated at 5.9 million. In 1950, the population of Johannesburg was 910,550. Johannesburg has grown by 143,921 since 2015, which represents a 2.49% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. Johannesburg Pretoria urban area is the 26th largest district in the world with 14,167,000 residents. It is the capital and largest city of Gauteng, the richest province in South Africa. Johannesburg is the seat of the Constitutional Court of South Africa. It is estimated that Johannesburg will have about 7.5 million people by 2035. Dar es Salaam is the largest city and business capital of Tanzania. With over 6 million people, it is the largest city in East Africa with many government agencies, offices and embassies, although the capital of Tanzania is Dodoma. Its port is a key generator of revenue to the city's economy. In 1950, the population of Dar es Salaam was 83,844. Dar es Salaam has grown by 345,242 since 2015, which represents a 5.15% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. It is the fifth most populous city in Africa that has been projected to increase from 6 million people currently to 13.4 million by 2035, passing the 10 million person per megacity threshold before 2030. The city is Tanzania's most famous art, fashion, media, film and television center, doubling as its main financial center as well. It is the capital of the Dar es Salaam region, one of the 31 administrative regions of Tanzania. Luanda is the capital of Angola and the largest city in the country. Its port is a significant revenue contributor to the city's economy. It also houses several headquarters of the government and major companies. Luanda's 2021 population was estimated at 8,631,876. In 1950, the population of Luanda was 138,413. Luanda has grown by 302,078 since 2015, which represents a 3.63% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. The population is expected to reach 14.5 million by 2035, passing a megacity status before 2030. The city is a mass revamp, with major reconstruction and colossal developments that will significantly alter its urban landscape. Luanda has long been regarded as one of the cities with the highest cost of living for expats in the world. Giza is the second largest city in Egypt after Cairo and fourth largest city in Africa. It is the capital of Giza Governorate with a total population of 8.8 million as of October 2018. Giza is located along the Nile River, very close to Cairo. The close proximity of the city center to the ancient renders it an important tourist and commercial center. The city is most famous for its location on the Giza Plateau, which has some of the most impressive monuments in the world, including the royal sacred and mortuary complexes of ancient Egypt, the Great Sphinx, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and a number of other large pyramids and temples provides a cultural experience. Kinshasa is located along the Congo River, facing Brazzaville, Republic of Congo. The city is the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is an essential driver of the nation's economy. Kinshasa's 2021 population is now estimated at 14.4 million. In 1950, the population of Kinshasa was 201,905. Kinshasa has grown by 628,021 since 2015, which represents a 4.38% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospects. Kinshasa is the third largest metropolitan area in Africa, as well as the largest French-speaking urban area in the world. The city is expected to have an estimated population of about 26 million people by 2035. Kinshasa has seen recommendable growth from a fishing and trading village along the Congo River in early years to one of the fastest-growing megacities in the world. Cairo is the capital of Egypt and the largest city in the Arab world. The Greater Cairo metropolitan area has a population of 21.3 million. In 1950, the population of Cairo was 2.5 million. Cairo has grown by 422,146 since 2015, which represents a 2.02% annual change. These population estimates and projections come from the latest revision of the UN World Urbanization Prospect. Cairo is located near the Nile Delta in central Egypt. The city is famous for its history and culture dating back to ancient Egypt. It is an important commercial, financial, and trade center. With a population of 21.3 million, the Cairo metropolitan area is the largest in the Arab world, the second largest in Africa, and the sixth largest in the world. Cairo is related to ancient Egypt. The famous Giza pyramids and the ancient city of Memphis are located in its geographic area. It is estimated that the city will have a population of about 28 million people by 2035. Like many other megacities, Cairo also faces serious pollution and traffic problems. The Cairo Metro is one of only 2 subway systems in Africa. The other is in Algiers, Algeria. It is one of the 15 busiest subway systems in the world, with an annual passenger volume of over 1 billion people. Lagos has grown tremendously, from 1.4 million inhabitants in 1970 to over 22 million people today. The Lagos area is growing daily by some 3,000 people, or around 1.1 million annually, so the true population figure of the greater Lagos area in 2022 is roughly 28 million, up from some 23.5 million in 2018. The city now accounts for 25% of Nigeria's overall GDP and is home to a large number of millionaires. It is also Africa's 8th fastest-growing metropolis. Lagos is located on the western coast of Nigeria and is the most populous city in the country, serving as Nigeria's financial and commercial engine. Most commercial and financial operations are conducted in the central business district located on the island. Several banks as well as other industries, such as the Dangote oil refinery, are found in and around the vicinity. Lagos is the main information, communications and telecommunications center of West Africa and may be the largest ICT market on the African continent. In some areas of Lagos, the living standards of residents are among the highest in Nigeria and Africa. It's estimated that by 2035, close to 30 million people could live in Lagos, turning Nigeria's commercial hub into the largest megacity on the continent. At the same time, more than a third of Africa's urban population is expected to live in West Africa. So there you have it. Those are the 25 largest and fastest growing cities in Africa. If you enjoyed this video, watch the next video on your screen which presents the African inventors who changed the world. As always, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our exciting future videos.